sponsored by our YouTube channel. Head over to thefeelingsoverfacts.com YouTube and give us a subscribe and a like. Welcome in to the Feelings Over Facts podcast. I'm your co-host, Zach Simmons, here with my co-host, Daniel Jones, a.k.a. DJ. DJ, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. How about yourself?
Feeling good. We are back here for another exciting episode. We are back with a special episode because this episode is near and dear to our hearts here at the Feelings Over Facts podcast, as our first ever episode was a NFL draft preview. And we are back here today with our NFL first round mock draft before tomorrow's NFL draft. So it is a special episode here for us at the Feelings Over Facts podcast.
It is our podcast's first birthday. I remember the day I remember the day we took it home.
Indeed. For sure. I'm repping the Colts, the Jacoby Biscuit jersey. DJ is repping his Titans, of course. So we are ready for our mock draft. But first, if you're not yet subscribed to the Feelings Over Facts YouTube, head over there and give us a subscribe and join the live chat. We stream all of our episodes live on YouTube, and you can throw any questions or comments in the chat, as well as give us a follow on our Feelings Over Facts Instagram and TikTok, and watch all of our fun shorts that we post. All right, DJ, before we get into the mock draft, we first have to dive into what missed today's show. Eric Kendricks, edge rusher, Pro Bowl edge rusher for the Cincinnati Bengals, has requested a trade. He is joining T. Higgins among Bengals active players that have requested a trade. So lots of weird things happening over there in Cincinnati. The Chicago Bears unveil a new $5 billion dome stadium. What will be the word? Project for the new stadium. They're trying to get it approved. So we'll see if they can get that for potentially a new quarterback. I mean, I don't know who you have going number one. I mean, who really knows? But the Chicago Bears trying to get a new dome stadium. And finally, what missed today's show? Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back after it being taken away. It was around, I think, about 10 years ago now that happened. So, Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back. What did you think about that, DJ?
It's closer to 20 because he lost it in 2005.
Well, who can keep track of time?
Time is a construct.
Yeah.
It was I think warranted. I feel like some people in the day and age now maybe don't know who Reggie Bush is and how good Reggie Bush was back in the day. Reggie Bush was a video game character-esque player. Mm-hmm. And the guy might have been the first football player I've seen being a game changer in my life growing up.
Yeah.
Was I a big USC fan? No, I was told to hate USC because they always won. Always go for the underdog. My mom always used to say.
Yeah.
So, a little bit,
arguably the best college football player ever. Certainly one of the most exciting.
He's into the conversation for sure.
Yeah.
The reason why he got taken away, I feel like, is the reason, or it like back then. Yeah, I got it. I understood it. It made sense. Nowadays, it's legal. It's pretty much illegal to pay players, and that's exactly what happened. Why not let him get it back? Let him keep his legacy, because you can't take anything off the field that he did. The guy was the number 2 pick in the draft. The guy was incredible.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush is one of the best football players in college you've ever seen.
Yep. No doubt. Yeah, I'm glad that they gave him back because of the changes that have happened to the college football rules where players are allowed to be paid now. So the fact that those changes were made, I think it definitely warranted him certainly getting his Heisman back, and he definitely earned it. So I'm glad he was able to get that back for sure. So shout out Reggie. All right, DJ, we've got 32 picks to give out for our NFL round 1 mock draft. Are you excited?
I'm always excited for mock draft season. I used to make
yeah.
one every year, so it's always fun to be able to do that now.
Yeah, for sure.
I call this Christmas for football fans. You get to play with the new toys.
Yep, and every team has hope on draft day.
Indeed,
there's hope for every team, even the horrible ones, except the Panthers. They don't have a first round pick, so they're just kind of going to be sad. But yeah, we will. Luca is ready as well. But all right, let's go ahead and get right in to our first round mock draft for the Feelings Over Facts podcast. I think last year what we did was an alternate of one of us did odds and one of us did evens. This year we're both going to be presenting our own mock draft, just going through each pick one at a time. I didn't tell you this, DJ, but mine does have trades. So if yours also has trades, that's fine. Mine only has 1 trade in the first round. I expect there probably to be more. I was more so going for, I guess people sometimes they try to do what they think that the team should do versus what will actually happen. I'm going for what I think will happen with my picks. Like I think that these players will be drafted around these spots to these teams. So that's kind of what I was going with my mock draft. So not sure what vision you had with yours, but that's kind of what I had with mine.
Anytime I do a mock draft, I try to act like I am the GM and what I would do for each pick if I was in their shoes. So mine does have trades, but I had to do it a different way because the simulator I used didn't have the function to do trades actually without subscribing, and I wasn't about to do that.
Yeah, fair enough. I like it. All right. Let me go close my window so Luca stops losing his mind.
While you're doing that, I'll talk about my first pick. My first pick, I have the Chicago Bears taking Caleb Williams out of USC. Not a super surprise here. You know, it seems like he's been touted to be the number 1 pick for 2 years now. It seems like, whenever he came out in the draft. Chicago trading away Justin Fields, getting all the weapons around him that they have. This doesn't seem that big of a surprise to me for them to build around Caleb Williams and see what the future is going to hold for Chicago football in the near future. Hopefully for the next 10 years for Bears fans' sake, because good Lord, I'm sure that they're ready to have the quarterback position figured out. Yeah,
for sure. So, I mean, we don't have to spend much time on number 1 with Caleb. I also have him as my number 1 quarterback for the Chicago Bears. To put it into context, if Caleb Williams averages 220 yards this season and throws for 27 touchdowns, that will be the second greatest quarterback season in Chicago Bears history. So he does not have a very high bar to be able to, at least from a Bears perspective, be a successful quarterback. So yeah, Caleb Williams, number 1 to Chicago Bears. I think he's like minus 10,000 right now. For context on that, if you bet $100, I think that wins you 10 cents. So enjoy that free money that the sports books are offering there on Caleb going number 1. So yeah, Caleb Williams number 1 for me as well. I think that the draft honestly starts at number 2 is what I think. I mean, everyone's got Caleb going number one. He's the no doubt best quarterback prospect in this year's draft class, and that's where we always see. That's what we always get is whenever we have a no doubt quarterback, best quarterback, they're going number one. So yeah, Caleb Williams number one to the Chicago Bears. I will go with my number 2 pick now, and I have Jayden Daniels out of LSU going to the Washington Commanders. I think that there's a lot of arguments for this pick to also be Drake May out of North Carolina. I think that Jayden is a lot more exciting, and I think that this is a franchise that is thinking a lot more with their heart than their head. Even though there is a lot more probably to like about Drake May as a professional QB prospect with the strong arm and the good mechanics, I think that Jayden Daniels is a lot of a more fun prospect, and a team like Washington, who's kind of trying to rebrand themselves, trying to make themselves kind of a new type of franchise from the depths of the Redskins day with that ownership. So I think that is the pick that they're going to try to go with and try to rebuild their franchise around is Jayden Daniels number 2.
Well, as of right now, you and I are 2 for 2 on the exact same draft pick. I also have Jayden Daniels here. I wouldn't say it's because he's a sexier pick. I wouldn't say it's because I like him more than Drake May or anything like that. I just think that this is the guy that they've kind of touted as their guy at the moment. I saw some reports earlier this week that were saying that he was, a little bit not willing to come to Washington, which kind of made me think that maybe Drake May is going to here. We've seen quarterbacks kind of, switch and swap around where they've been mocked this whole time. For instance, 2017 draft, Baker Mayfield going number 1 overall. I think everybody in that mock who mocked anybody until the last day, which I think Todd McShay and Mel Kiper Jr., they have 17 mocks, came out and said that Baker's going number 1 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I think everybody had Sam Darnold going number 1. So I don't think it's, I don't think we'll see the Bears just pull a complete 180 and be like, yeah, we're not taking Caleb number 1. We're going Drake. But I could see, like you were saying, May and Daniels kind of interchanging here in Washington. I have Washington take him. I think that he could be a plug and play guy immediately. He's got a pretty good arm. He's got the ability to get out of the pocket too, which can be scary, especially in the NFL when everybody's a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But I think this is a solid pick. I would personally go with Daniels here. I do like May a little bit more, but I think the system is going to fit Daniels a little bit better.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Daniels would be happier about going here as well. All right, already having that really good number 1 receiver with Terry McLaurin. So I think that he would be really happy about going here versus number 3 to the Patriots. So yeah. Number 2, Jayden Daniels, we both agree on. So we're agreeing on 1 and 2 with Caleb and Jayden. Let's see what do you have for the number 3 pick for the New England Patriots?
Well, for the Patriots, now I will agree that the draft starts in the set. And honestly, I think the 3rd pick is where it starts. This is where I think the first trade could go down.
Yeah.
New England's kind of an enigma that is itself. I don't know who the quarterback would be. I guess it would be Jacoby Brissett. Shout out to the jersey you're wearing right now.
Ooh,
I think Jacoby Brissett would be their starting quarterback this year, which I don't think is a great thing, but it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah.
But I have Drake May going number 3. I think that they're going to sit tight. They're going to sit pat. I do think Drake May has some high upside. I do think that he is a solid player.
Yeah.
He's got the arm. He's got the talent. He's got the size. He had a bad year last year, and I think a lot of it was because he lost a lot of his weapons, and I can't really blame him for that, But it didn't look great. I won't lie. It did not look great. Going into the year, especially in college last year, it was between Williams and May who was going to get number 1 overall. Honestly, I don't think either quarterback did a good job of kind of solidifying it, but that doesn't mean the talent's not there. So I'm going with May to New England. I think he kind of fits what they're going to want to do. It's going to be a struggle. New England's not a good football team right now, and there's a reason why they have the 3rd pick.
Yeah.
So, and you kind of saw it last year with Bryce. These teams that you're getting these quarterbacks high, they're not good football teams.
Yeah.
So I don't know what people expect off the rip. Now, the Bears are in a little bit better of a situation, and I also would say the Commanders are in a better situation as well. But New England, not a great situation. Receivers
Mhm.
aren't that great. It's going to be a work in progress, but we'll see what happens. But I like Drake May here at number 3.
Yep, I am agreeing on you. Three for three. I've got Drake May going number 3 to the New England Patriots as well. I think that they can't roll into this season with Jacoby Brissett being their starting quarterback. As bad as they've been the last few years, they got a new coach in there. Whenever you get a new coach, you want to bring in usually a new young quarterback to pair with him so that they can kind of grow together. And I think that the best quarterback available at this number 3 spot is no doubt going to be Drake May. I think that there is a tier fall off after those first 3 quarterbacks as far as quarterback prospects go. So I think that the Patriots are going to, whether they are in love with it or not, are going to go Drake May here. Are going to go either Drake May or Jaden Daniels, whichever one is available. In our mock, we Jaden going 2. So I've got Drake May going 3 here to the New England Patriots. And then we can move right along to the 4th pick for number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. I have Marvin Harrison Jr. going number 4 to the Arizona Cardinals. Not much more to say here about Marvin Harrison Jr. that hasn't already been said. We have never seen a prospect like him when was the last time you saw a receiver go top 5? I can't even
Chase.
Remember. Was he I thought he was 7.
He's a 5th pick, I thought. Maybe I'm
He was the
tripping.
5th pick. Okay, well, that tells you the type of quality prospect that Marvin Harrison Jr. is. That receivers don't go this high very often. So, and there's a couple others that are that are up there as well. So, this is a really high-end receiving class as far as prospects go. And Marvin Harrison Jr., he would have been a top 5 pick if he was able to be in last year's draft. And he had a even better season without CJ Stroud this past year at Ohio State. So he is the no doubt best receiver in this draft class. Anyone who's trying to tell you otherwise is just seeking out clicks, in my opinion, for clickbait. So yeah, I got Marvin Harrison Jr. here, number 4 to the Cardinals.
So to correct myself, it was the Cincinnati Bengals that took a receiver. Can't get the words out of my mouth. Took a receiver in the top 5. It was 2011. Can you tell me that receiver?
2011 was the last top 5 receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
According to this website.
2011. John Ross?
No, he was 9th.
Ah, dang. I was close.
But that was also 2017, not 2011.
Well, who was it?
AJ Green.
AJ Green. I mean, he was pretty good. He panned out kind of quite nicely.
Yeah, I don't think that was a bad pick at all. And then the one after that was Calvin Johnson, and he's a Hall of Famer, so I definitely can't go wrong. Then it kind of takes a little bit of a tumble with Braylon Edwards.
Yep, and then you got Corey Davis in there as well. So
that's true.
That one did not pan out. So, yeah. He was number 5, right?
He was 5th, yeah. I was saying inside the top 5, because that's what we're talking about, inside the top 5.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So 4, I'm also going to be super boring. I feel like the top 4 picks is where it's kind of already, in a way, it's kind of set somewhat.
Yeah, unless there's a trade, I think that the top 4 picks are pretty much. I mean, you could probably interchange Jaden and Drake May, which one they go, but the top 4 picks feel pretty much locked in if there's no trades.
Right. So I'm also going Marvin Harrison Jr. Flat out best receiver coming out this year. I think it was a pretty obvious. If you watch any college football this year, guy was an absolute unit at Ohio State. I hate saying that because I don't like Ohio State, but gotta respect it that they do bring out some great football talent. So, yep, Cardinals helping Kyler Murray out with a top receiver after losing Hollywood last year.
Yep, for sure. All right, I'm interested to see what you got here at 5 with the Chargers, DJ, because this is kind of a spot where a lot of people are thinking there could be a trade. The Chargers could go all over the place with this pick. So what do you have?
So in the trades that I do, like I said, I kind of had to do it like without actually doing it on the website that I did.
Yeah.
So I have them trading with Minnesota. Minnesota's coming up to 5, and I have them taking JJ McCarthy. Minnesota, I don't know exactly what you would have to give away from that, but I'm just doing a straight swap of picks. I'm not going to go full in depth because I don't think it's that fair to be able to do that personally. But
Yeah.
I'm going with JJ McCarthy to Minnesota. I got Minnesota coming up to 5, swapping from 5 to 11 with the Chargers. So, am I a fan of JJ McCarthy? No, and that's on the record on this podcast. If you listen to this podcast, I'm not a huge fan of JJ McCarthy. I don't even think he should be a first round pick. Maybe I don't know something that the NFL world does know. Maybe he comes out and is an absolute unit and a future Hall of Famer, and Minnesota goes on to win like 3 or 4 Super Bowls, and I look like the biggest idiot in the world. Wouldn't be the first time. But JJ McCarthy here, only reason why I have him here is because everybody has him so highly touted. I get it. He can make the throws in shorts and a t-shirt. I get it. He looks the part. I get it. In college, he did everything that he was told to do, which means he could do the same thing in the NFL. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. I don't love JJ McCarthy, but I mean, this is why you play football. This is why this is what makes the draft so great. We don't know who's going to be that next person to absolutely just be an absolute unit or not. So, Minnesota trading up, first trade that I've ever done in a mock ever. I never usually do trades, but this one I feel like I had to. So, JJ McCarthy to Minnesota.
Yeah, there you go. I think that I've got I won't spoil what I've got happening later in mine, but I think that Minnesota, you saw them earlier in the offseason trade to get that number 23 pick. They traded to get that extra first round pick, and I think that they want to use that as ammunition to be able to move up in the draft. I think that that's pretty transparently their plan at the current moment. But here at 5, I have the LA Chargers taking Rome Odunze out of Washington. I think that we saw this offseason, we saw the Chargers get rid of the core of the receiving core with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen parting ways off of the Chargers, not able to continue to pay them. They were kind of in a little bit of a bad cap situation with all the people that they were paying. And they kind of chose to keep some of their big defensive players with Bosa and Khalil Mack over a few of their receivers. So they're kind of hurting in the receiver room, but they still have a great young quarterback in Justin Herbert, and I think that they want to provide him with weapons. So I think that they go Odunze here. I think that Odunze is the all-around better receiver over Neighbors. I think Neighbors is far more athletic and is more of a flashy prospect, but I think that Odunze is a much better route runner. He's got great size. This is a guy that could be directly compared to like a Devontae Adams type, a big guy who can run routes. And I think that if he pans out to be that quality of receiver, the Chargers will be very happy with that. So I've got Odunze going here at number 5 to the LA Chargers. So right. Moving on to number 6, I've got Malik Neighbors. 3 receivers in the top 6 picks. Malik Neighbors out of LSU going to the Giants. I think this is the last year that Daniel Jones has as a quarterback for the New York Giants. I think that if he can't get it done this year, if he can't at least make it to the playoffs, then they will see him as a quarterback that they're ready to part ways with. And I think that getting him a top receiving asset like Malik Neighbors here, a blue chip receiving prospect, like unbelievable athleticism, super fast, can just streak down the field, runs like a deer. Malik Neighbors is a very exciting prospect. I think that the Giants will be more than happy to grab him here at 6.
I also have Malik Neighbors. The guy is a difference maker. I mean, just look at it. If you want to look at the good football, just pull up his highlight tape last year. He absolutely balled out. He did what he was supposed to do. He's an absolute unit. I am a big fan of Malik Neighbors. If he got to the Titans, I may have had to have switched around some stuff for the Titans pick as a fan, but I'm here to give an unbiased opinion, unfortunately. So I have to go with what I have, and that is Malik Neighbors to New York. They need to give weapons to Daniel Jones if he's going to be successful, and they lost probably their biggest weapon that they've had since Daniel Jones has been there in Saquon Barkley to a division rival. Got to do something different. Got to pick
Yeah.
it up. And this is where I think that they do that.
Yep, I like it. I like it. All right, we have made it to pick 7, the Tennessee Titans. So DJ, why don't you take it away for your team?
For my team, well, let's sit here and talk about it for a minute. I'm kidding. No, I'm just gonna go with the super boring pick. It's Joe Alt. Don't get me wrong. There's a huge part of me that wants to go receiver here. Just really stack up that receiving room. Give
tight end.
what or nah. I mean, yeah, Brock Bowers is. I won't say I didn't think about it. I can't say I didn't. But don't get me wrong. If we got Brock Bowers, I don't think I'd be too upset. That being said, I went with Joe Alt. He's the best tackle in the class. He's a plug and play guy. We need to protect Will Levis. We need to get some blocking. That offensive line was god awful. We've already made some improvements with Cushenberry. Bring him in, a legitimate center that isn't a small little dude, as people would call Aaron Brewer. But I loved it. I love Joe Alt. I won't hate that pick at all if that's who we go with. Guy's an absolute stud. So that's my pick for the Titans.
I gotcha. I think that I also have Joe Alt to the Tennessee Titans at Notre Dame for this number 7 pick. I think this is the most locked in pick of the entire draft, in my opinion. I think if he's there at 7, you can kind of just lock it in that they're taking Joe Alt here at 7. I think it's the most obvious pick in the first round, other than Caleb to the Bears. I think that Joe Alt to Tennessee Titans at number 7 is it's going to happen. So yeah, that's what I've got at 7. And then at 8, I have my first trade of the first round. I have the Minnesota Vikings moving up from 11 to 8 with the Atlanta Falcons to take JJ McCarthy out of Michigan. The Minnesota Vikings have. So let me talk about why because a lot of people are predicting this trade to happen. Pretty much everybody thinks this trade's happening, but a lot of people are predicting it to happen earlier than I did, like at 5 with the Chargers is kind of what the public consensus is. I think that it's kind of been a little bit of a media overblown hype of JJ McCarthy. I don't think that a lot of these teams are as high on him as people think. So I think that he could make it all the way to the end of the top 10 before he's being selected. Now the teams between them at 11 and 8, the Falcons, aren't taking quarterback, but I think that the Minnesota Vikings would still do it because they'd be scared that the Raiders or the Broncos or somebody would try to jump them and take JJ McCarthy away from them. So I've got them moving up from 11 to 8 to take JJ there at the 8 with the Falcons. So the Falcons move from 8 back to 11, and then the Minnesota Vikings also have to give up pick number 23 to be able to make that trade happen. So that's the trade that I've got happening in the first round for the Minnesota Vikings.
I don't hate it. It makes sense, and I think it's kind of funny that we both have him going to Minnesota. Also, just a little caveat: I do see a way that Minnesota could trade up and go get for some reason, I don't know why, but there's been some rumors that they like Michael Penix Jr. So and there's been a lot of noise about him moving up into the draft and especially into the first round, as as big as people want quarterbacks. So with that being said, my pick for the Atlanta Falcons, I have the first defensive player coming off the board, and that is Alabama's Dallas Turner. I watched a lot of Alabama tape this year. Obviously, I'm an Alabama fan. Dallas Turner, I don't think he's got as much hype coming out. Obviously, he doesn't have as much hype as what Anderson did, but the guy is a game wrecker. He's good off the edge in the run, in the pass game. He can do it all. So I think they're getting a legitimate defensive aid that they needed that they haven't had in a minute. So that's what I have at 8.
Gotcha. I'll go ahead and bounce right off that because at 9 I have the Chicago Bears taking Dallas Turner. I think that they got Keenan Allen and they got DJ Moore, so I could see them still going with the young receiver here, but I think that they really want to shore up that defensive line And Dallas Turner is the best defensive player in this draft class. So getting him all the way down at 9, I think is a bit of a steal for the Bears, getting the best offensive and defensive player in the draft here with 1 and 9, I think would be huge for them. So I'm going Dallas Turner out of Bama to the Chicago Bears at number 9.
Okay. Well, this one, it kind of worked out because it kind of just fell in their lap. And I think that they would take this to the bank if this was the case, along with having Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Why not go get Rome Odunze? I got Rome Odunze going to the Bears at 9. You got your start. You got your franchise quarterback. Got your franchise receiver now. Pairing them together and let them work. And they know a lot about each other. Saw a lot of each other in college. This makes sense to me. I could see this being a very well combining the tandem in the NFL. So I have the Bears taking Rome Odunze.
Gotcha. I like it. Pairing Caleb with the Odunze, man, that would be dangerous. All right, number 10. I have the New York Football Jets taking Brock Bowers out of Georgia. I think that this is a pick that a lot of people think is going to happen. I think Brock Bowers is arguably a top 5 prospect in this draft. So getting him at 10, I think the Jets would think is a pretty big steal. Getting Brock Bowers here out of Georgia. I mean, he's a direct like Travis Kelce like copy. This is a guy who gets open, like mysteriously open. Like if you watch him in college, you're like, oh, do they even know that he is a great player because of how open he gets? But he is always so open. He's a great athlete. He's going to be great with run after the catch. Great weapon here for Aaron Rodgers in probably his final season with the Jets. So I'm going, Brock Bowers there.
This is unfortunate because I promised, ladies and gentlemen, that we did not confide anything. This is all just coincidence that we have a lot of similar players in similar spots. I also have the New York Football Jets taking Brock Bowers out of Georgia. Pretty much just, Control C, Control V, what Zach just said. The guy is an absolute stud.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him in Tennessee two-tone blue, but went with a bigger need. He's a fun weapon that I think that Aaron Rodgers can really, really get his hands on for this next year. Past that, it like you said, if this is Aaron Rodgers' last year in New York or in the NFL, they're kind of in trouble. They do have the weapons now with, Wilson and Williams now picking him up out of, LA. Yes. So this team is ready. But how many years do you have your star quarterback? So it's a little scary, but I like Brock Bowers here at 10.
Yep. I mean, it makes sense that we have a lot of similar picks because there's a lot of universally recognized players that are the top in their position, and these teams have needs. So these teams are trying to fill their needs, and a tight end is very much a need for the Jets. DJ, who do you have the Falcons taking at, or I guess this would be Minnesota now for you at 11?
It would be. No, it'd be LA. It'd be the LA Chargers
because
right. of a trade.
Yes. Yeah.
There's certain things that Jim Harbaugh likes, and that's protecting his quarterback. So I have them taking Olu Fashanu. He likes to build the team through the trenches, and there's been some mocks I've seen that Joe Alt goes to 5 at LA to the Chargers. They don't move at all. I think that he'll take the second best tackle in the league. He's seen a lot of them out of last year, playing against Penn State. It makes a lot of sense to me. So I have the Chargers taking Olu Fashanu.
Gotcha. I like it. I think that's right. That the Chargers are going to want to run the ball this year, for sure. So I like that pick. So in my mock at 11, I have the Falcons now because of the trade with the Vikings and their pick swap. So I have the Falcons at 11 taking Jared Verse out of Florida State. I think that there was a point in the draft process a while ago where people thought Jared Verse would be the number 1 defensive player taken and that he could potentially go top 3. Like he was that good of a prospect. So he's since fallen down a little bit because of just the mumbo jumbo that comes with the NFL draft. I think that anytime a player falls in a time where there's not football being played, that you should look into that player because they could be screaming value. So I think that the Falcons need an edge rusher. They'll take Jared Verse here at 11. On to you, pick 12, the Denver Broncos.
So here I could see this could be one of the teams I could see trading up to try and get one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But I actually honestly believe that since they're eating so much cap, that this team is trying to kind of tank this year and maybe take Quinn Ewers next year in the first round if he comes out as the number one quarterback.
Or Shadur,
I guess, yes. Which he wouldn't have to go very far since he's in Colorado anyway, but we'll get on to that later. I also have Jared Verse going pretty soon, but I have him going to Denver. I think an edge rusher would actually help this team quite a bit. They just need some players. That defense is not that bad. I think that adding a great player like Jared Verse, who, honestly, I could be convinced that he could go to 8 to Atlanta. I think he's a very good football player. He wrecks games as well. Him and Dallas Turner are very close to me in my mind. So, but I have him dropping to Denver at 12.
I gotcha. At Denver at 12, I have them selecting Mr. Bo Nix out of Oregon. I do not see Sean Payton going into this season with Zach Wilson as the starting quarterback. I don't think that Sean Payton has any vibes of being a bad team. I think that he's going to try his best to be as successful as possible. And I think with their current cap situation, kind of like what you were talking about, that they need a young quarterback on a rookie deal, and drafting a quarterback like a Bo Nix that doesn't wow you with his prospect throwing arm and throwing talent and accuracy like that, like the other guys do that I have being selected above him for sure. Those guys are certainly much better, but he is a guy that I think that Sean Payton thinks he could mold into being a quarterback that can fit his system. And I've got the Denver Broncos taking Bo Nix here at 12. So I'll go ahead and go with 13 for why give me that face?
No, just keep going.
You don't like that?
I'm going to ask a question in a minute, but go.
Okay. At 13, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to butcher this name, taking Laiatu Latu out of did I get that right? Out of UCLA.
It's close enough. I'm going to butcher some names later on too, so it's fine.
So yeah, I don't know much about him as a player, but I know that he is the next best as far as like public consensus rankings of pass rushers. Latu out of UCLA is rated pretty high, and I know that they have Patrick Mahomes in their division, and I know that they're going to want to get after him. So I see them taking a pass rusher here at an elite level pass rusher here at this spot. So Raiders 13, Lahi Latu.
Alrighty. For me, I have this team looking at quarterback. A lot of reports said they want Jalen Daniels. Unless you're trading up to number 2, which there's no way you're going to because Washington has already kind of came out and said they're not moving.
Yeah.
You're not getting Jalen Daniels unless they just don't take him at 2. So, and the Raiders, I mean, don't get me wrong, Gardner Minshew is probably one of the best backups in the league, but do you really want to put your franchise on him to try and get you into like a decent play? I mean, look, the Colts weren't the worst team in the league last year, and he was their quarterback all year last year, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, like, you're not going to be bad enough. No, they didn't. They didn't make the playoffs.
I said they almost made the playoffs.
Oh, I thought you said they made the playoffs. Sorry, my bad. You kind of broke up when you said that in my ear. Sorry. No, I have the Raiders, and this could easily be a trade up potential. Like, if they really want to come up and at 7 and Joe Alt's not there, Titans, pay attention. Here we go.
Yeah, trade back to 13.
But right here in my mock, he's there. I have them taking Michael Penix Jr. The question I wanted to ask is, did you forget about Michael Penix Jr. because he's way better than Bo Nix? Bo Nix has looked terrible in the NFL process. I'm curious why you had Bo Nix over Michael Penix Jr.
I think that the Broncos, specifically Sean Payton, as a head coach, thinks that he can be able to mold Bo Nix into that Drew Brees style of quarterback, a quarterback that can make the right decisions within his system and can be accurate, because Bo Nix doesn't have a strong arm, but he does have pretty good accuracy. That's why he's going to be an NFL starting quarterback at some point in his career. So I think that's why I've got them going Bo Nix over Penix. Not that anything's wrong with Penix. I just think that it's more of a system preference for Sean Payton. They're not going to be throwing a bunch of deep balls, and that's what Penix is really good at.
That is true. Anyway, all right.
All right, we're on to 14. This is a pretty straightforward pick for me. I've got the Saints taking Fashanu out of Penn State. They have lost a lot of the Saints cap situation is just a mess. If you have a moment, look into their cap situation. It's just a hot mess to look at. They have holes all over the place. One of the biggest ones is tackle. And right here, Fashanu is out of Penn State is one of the best ones that's available. So pretty straightforward for me. I think they go him.
Fair enough. Well, like you said, the cap situation is bad. I feel like you just kind of, if you're the Saints here, you really need to take best player available in your eyes on your draft board. Who is the best player available that is kind of a need? For me, I could see them taking the interior D-line. I'm going to not pronounce his name right. Jer'Zhan Newton, the D lineman. Yeah, Illinois. The D lineman out of Illinois. He stands out in tape. You see him popping up he's quick off the ball, gets into the backfield, can stop the run, pretty decent in the pass game too, gets to the quarterback. I think this is a good, safe, solid pick. You have Brian Bresee and him together. That's a solid pairing for the next 4, 5, 6 years, depending on who you pay and what you do.
Yep, I like it. That would be a great pick by them, I think. Number 15, the Indianapolis Colts. I have them taking in my opinion, the best athlete in the draft, Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. Corner is certainly a need for the Colts at the current moment. And I think Cooper DeJean is the best athlete and corner / safety, a guy who can play both either corner or safety, and also is going to be a heck of a kick and punt returner. So I think that the utility that he can provide, I think the Colts would be really interested in. So I've got Cooper DeJean going 15 to the Colts.
Well, I also have them taking a corner.
First white corner in a long time.
I have them taking a corner.
Okay.
But I have them taking Quentin Mitchell out of Toledo. I think he's the number 1 corner in this whole draft. The guy is an absolute baller. If you watch the tape, he played amazing this year. And I know there's got to be that argument that he played in a MAC school. He really didn't play against that much, competition. You say the same thing about Sauce Gardner whenever he's coming out. I mean, they weren't in the Big 12 like they are now. Mm-hmm. He played against American conference teams and pretty freaking good. And I think that this guy has the same makeup. I'm not saying he's going to be Sauce Gardner. That's unfair to him. But I think that this is a solid pick for a team that could use some defensive help on the back end. Yeah,
that's fair. I'm surprised. I've got the 2 Bama corners ahead of him. So I'm interested to see where he goes.
I completely mispronounced his name. It's Quinyon, I guess. My bad.
Yeah. Okay, we are to pick number 16. A lot of the tackle picks, I don't have a great explanation for the pick. It's just a need that the team has, and it's the best tackle available. Another one here with the Seahawks out of Washington, Troy Fautanu. He's one of the best tackles in this draft. The Seahawks really need a tackle to shore up that spot on the line to protect Geno. They've got some great receivers. I think Fautanu for the Seahawks here feels pretty safe.
For the Seahawks, I looked at Fautanu, but for some reason he kept dropping on my board. I think he's probably going to go way higher than I have him. But I have him taking Latu out of UCLA here. I think they need this best pick available again. Just get some talent. They need some defensive help. This guy is a disruptor. He might be the best edge rusher out of in the draft, but I feel like they're very close between him, Turner, and Verse. It's very close, and I can see these guys going in this 8 to 20 gap. That's where I think those edge rushers go. So this kind of fits that. In there. Yes, he's a baller. And the only thing that I think that makes him drop more is because of the neck injury that he had to deal with in college. And I think some people might be a little scared of that. Now, if John Robinson was drafting, he would be our pick. Probably at 7.
Player coming in with an injury, Give him to the Titans.
Yeah, give him to John Robinson.
Yeah, it worked out with Jeffrey Simmons. So
it's the only person it worked out with.
yeah.
So that's who I have the Seahawks taking. Like I said, just need to get a baller. Get somebody to help one side of the ball.
Yeah. You see the acronym BPA is talked about a lot here in the draft. A lot of these teams are just going to go BPA. They're going to go best player available. They're going to ignore, they have a lot of needs, so they're just going to go who they have number one on their board. That could be a situation there for the Seahawks for sure. Number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have them going with Combine Warrior, Adonai Mitchell out of Texas. I think this is a guy who he's big and he's fast. Two things that the Jags are needing on the outside after having Calvin Ridley part ways. This is a guy who a lot of people are comparing to like a DK Metcalf type, just really fast and big. 6'4", ran a 4.3 40, just an absolute combine warrior. So I got Adonai Mitchell here out of Texas to the Jags.
So the Jags, I have them taking Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. I'm very highly critical of Terrion Arnold. I've watched him get burned a lot in college. Now, I know it's a little bit unfair in college or for the cornerback position because you're either going to win or you're going to lose. There's no in between. There's no like, oh, you almost got it. Oh, you almost did it. Like,
yeah,
that's just how the cornerback position works. I've been very critical of him. I never thought he'd be a first-round guy. Here he is. He played really well this year. Honestly, I thought going into the season, I thought Kool-Aid McKinstry would be a better corner prospect than Terrion Arnold. I've been proven wrong. Terrion Arnold's played really well. I think the Jags could use some more corner help, especially in this division with the Texans who are getting some big boys. The Titans have upped their receiving core. The Jaguars need some help on the corner back. Because their pass rush, I think, is solid. Like you have Walker and you have Allen. Like they can get to the quarterback and they can tackle with Devin Lloyd. What's your back end looking like? They have Cisco, who's a safety. They need a corner. They needed that number one corner. I think Terrion Arnold's got the intangibles to be a very good corner in the NFL.
Gotcha. I like that. More on him to come for me here soon. Number 18, the Cincinnati Bengals. I have them taking defensive tackle out of Texas, Byron Murphy. This is a situation where the Bengals are kind of set in a lot of places. I think that they go BPA and like kind of what I was just describing. They're going to go best player available. And I think one of the best players still left on the board at this point in the first round is Byron Murphy, a defensive tackle that can 100% just wreck the game. And I think that they have Lamar Jackson is in their divisions. They're a team that's going to really need to get after the quarterback, a team that's really going to need to stop the run. And Byron Murphy is great about those things. So I think that they go with him to the Bengals at 18.
So at 18, I have them taking receiver. I think they're gonna lose T. Higgins. T. Higgins is requesting a trade. Yes. So I have them taking Brian Thompson Jr., another LSU receiver, to pair alongside with Jamar Chase. So Brian Thompson, I feel like, has been very under the radar. I think there's been a lot of players that have gotten more hype because of workouts or the top three guys are just that good. And there might be a little bit of a gap between Brian Thomas. I don't think Brian Thomas is bad at all. I think he is a legitimate number one receiver or number one first round receiver. I think he's a great two. Yeah. And this could be another addition to that offense with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So I have them taking Brian Thomas at 18.
Gotcha. I like it. So here at 19 is where I have Terrion Arnold, the cornerback out of Bama, to the Chargers. They are trying to replace the corner that they just lost recently. Who am I thinking of? I can't remember his name. But J.C. Jackson?
He was on the Chargers.
Yeah, this is the Chargers have the 19th pick, right?
That's the Rams.
What? Okay. I thought that. Okay,
wrong LA team.
Sorry. Yes, I must have just saw LA and assumed it was the Chargers. The Rams. They're trying to replace Jalen. They've had a hole at corner for a little while now since he's left, and I think that getting an elite corner like a Terrion Arnold, a guy who's really physical, could be good for them. So that's why I got them going Terrion Arnold to the LA Rams, not the LA Chargers.
It is one of their big needs. So, I mean, that's not a bad pick at all. Not at all. Like it. For me, I have, and I'm going to mispronounce the crap out of this name. You can roast me in the comments if you want. Talise Fuga, the tackle out of Oregon State. I don't know if I got that right. All right, cool. Fuga, I don't know.
We'll say close enough.
Yeah, sure. So I think they need to shore up some offensive line problems. I think that he's a very solid. I think he's going to be a right tackle in the NFL, which is not a bad thing to spend a good high draft pick on. He's also he's just been solid, and I think I could see him going a lot higher than this. Kind of like you were saying, I kind of fit some players into some spots where it's just like, you know what, this guy's a first rounder. Does this team necessarily need it? No, but it's best player available.
Yeah.
So I have him going to the LA Rams at 19.
I gotcha. All right, number 20, Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers do this weird thing where they like announce their pick before it's even close to the draft. Like they came out and said they were taking Pickett way before the draft. They did the same thing with Najee. They've said that they love this Amarius Mims, the tackle out of Georgia, several times. It's a lot of what Reddit had told me. So I think that I'm going to trust it. I think I'm going to say they're going to do the same thing again and tell the people exactly what they're doing. They're going to go Amarius Mims, the tackle out of Georgia for the Steelers.
That's a solid pick. I don't hate it, and that's also who I have.
Hey,
at 20.
Nice.
I have Mims at 20.
Our first pick that's matched since pick 4.
10. We had both.
We had both had Brock. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, that's who I have at 20 to the Steelers. They need some offensive line help, big time, and I think Mims is a solid athletic tackle, and that's what you need in this league to be able to go up against these big pass rushers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I like it. Obviously, got the same thing. And then for me, this is where I have at 21 for the Dolphins. I have Jerhaz Newton replacing Mr. Christian Wilkinson as a defensive tackle out of Illinois. This is obviously a need because they just lost him, so they don't have to pay Christian Wilkins a bunch of money, so they get this nice new toy of a new defensive tackle in here out of Illinois. So yeah, Jerhaz Newton to the Dolphins at 21.
So 21, I'm going with an interior offensive lineman. I'm going with Jackson Powers Johnson. They need to keep Tua upright and healthy, and I think he's going to help that. I love this pick for the Dolphins. I think this is a great just fit in general. So Jackson Powers Johnson, also great name. Sounds like pro wrestler.
Love a good 3-name.
Can't go wrong with it.
Jackson Powers Johnson. Eric in the chat says Eli Nye. I think that Newton is probably going to be the only. Is he going to be the only first rounder out of Illinois? He's got to be, right? Yeah. I don't see anybody else on my mock out of Illinois. Let's see. All right, so we're at number 22, the Philadelphia Eagles. This is where I have them taking Kool-Aid McKinstry, another great name out of Alabama. The Eagles were just absolutely dreadful in the secondary last year, to put it lightly. They got torched by the Giants in the secondary on multiple occasions, and the Giants were horrible. So that tells you anything about the state of their secondary for last season. I think that the Eagles are very much a win now team. They want a guy that could come in and that can produce immediately. And I think Kool-Aid is definitely a guy from a big program like Alabama. They love to draft their SEC people. So I'm going Kool-Aid at McKinstry to the Eagles.
So I have the Eagles taking a secondary player as well, but I have them taking Cooper DeJean. I think that this has been a good link. They've loved him in the early draft prospects. Guy's an athletic stud. He was the best player offensively and defensively for Iowa last year because he was their only way of scoring on punt returns.
Yeah.
And that's letting you know how bad Iowa's offense was.
Several games they did not score touchdowns.
He is an absolute stud. Love him to death. He's a fun player to watch. So, I'm going to Gene in Philly.
I like it. I like it. So number 23 for me is the Atlanta Falcons because of the trade back with the Minnesota Vikings. So here at 23, the Atlanta Falcons, I have them taking Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. A good receiver for Kirk. Kirk has shown that he can be productive with young receivers. With Justin Jefferson when he was young, he was really good with Jordan Addison last year. I think that young receivers mesh well with Kirk. And Brian Thomas is going to be a great receiver that they can pair with Drake London to make that young offense in Atlanta click. So I've got Brian Thomas out of LSU here to the Falcons at 23.
So at 23, I still have the Vikings having this pick. In reality, if they're trading up to 5, they probably don't have 23. So this is probably going to go to the Chargers, but I'm just going to stick with what I have. I know this is probably not that accurate. I apologize. I didn't feel like trying to get the exact trade calculations down. Just deal with it. All right. So
even if it's not the right team, the player could still go there.
That's true. So I have Byron Murphy out of Texas here. I think the guy's an absolute stud. I think that if Minnesota has this pick, that they could definitely use this position. He kind of fits in, plug and play, go ahead and just see what happens. So I like him there.
Nice. I'm going to announce my next two picks together because I'm going 24 Cowboys, 25 Packers are both going to go tackle. I think they both really need tackle, and they're going to go – the Cowboys are going to go Graham Barton out of Duke, and then the Packers are going to go J.C. Latham out of Alabama. Both teams, tackle is like their number one need. And I don't really know a ton about these two players, but I know that they're great first round blue chip tackle prospects. And I can see the Cowboys with Dak and the Packers with Jordan Love wanting to protect that blind side and going with Graham Barton and J.C. Latham here for 24-25.
So I will also do it. My picks like that. I have Dallas taking Troy Fautanu. Thank you. I have them taking Troy Fautanu. Like I said, he's probably not going to drop that far, but if he's there, definitely take him. Just saying.
Yeah.
And then I also have the Packers. If I didn't have the Steelers taking Mims, he would have gone there. But I have them taking J.C. Latham as well. I watch a lot of J.C. Latham. Don't think he's that good. But apparently he's a first-round grade, so here we go. Like this, I don't believe, and he went to Bama, so I have a heart. He has a place in my heart. I watched him get beat too much last year, and he's going to be great for the run game. We should have Josh Jacobs now. Can he keep Jordan Love upright? I think he can, but he's going to have to. It's going to take a little bit of a learning curve. So I'm going with J.C. Latham to Green Bay as well. So there you go. There's that.
Gotcha. I like it. We're in sync on that pick. Number 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We saw them get absolutely cooked by Jared Goff last year in the playoffs. Their secondary, they were able to go through it. The Lions were like a knife through warm butter. So I have them taking a corner. I've got them taking Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. Corner here to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 26.
So I have them taking an edge rusher here. I have them taking another great name, Chop Robinson out of Penn State, edge rusher. Great name. I think that he fits exactly what they want on the edge. Him and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka together, two young pass rushers, and get after quarterback with Vita Vea holding down the middle, doing what Vita Vea does, just helps that defense out more. So I like this pick for them. It kind of feels like they also like this guy, and a lot of people are saying that this is where they would probably go if he's there.
Yeah.
Or if they don't trade out.
Yeah. I like it. 27, the Arizona Cardinals are back with their second first-round pick, and I have them. I don't know if I'm going to say this first name correctly. Adisa Isaac out of Penn State, edge rusher. This is our this is one of two Penn State edge rushers that I think will go in the first round. You just mentioned one, Chop Robinson. I have him going a little bit later, but. Yeah, Adisa Isaac, edge rusher to the Arizona Cardinals, trying to shore up that defense. The Arizona Cardinals have so many holes. They could probably honestly take whoever here, but I'm going to go edge with Adisa Isaac.
So I also have them taking the defensive player here, but I have them taking an interior defensive lineman. I think this guy has kind of flown up the boards. You watch him at Florida State. He makes big plays. He's there a lot. I have him taking Brandon Fisk. I like this guy a lot. I think he's a borderline round 1, borderline round 2 guy. Guy's an athlete, and he's going to be able to get to the quarterback. He's going to be able to stop the run in the NFL. He's a big old boy. He's made a lot of money for himself in the testing situation with combine and pro days and everything like that.
Yeah,
he is an absolute stud. I've fallen in love with his tape. If you watch Florida State's defense, which basically carried them the last 3 games of the season before they kind of got screwed out of the playoffs spot, I had to play the enemy there because I'm an Alabama fan and I wanted to be in. But he's a stud. I like this pick. I think that this helps a lot of what they need in Arizona. But like you said, they have a lot of needs. It's gonna be some. They need to hit on these 2 first rounders for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They cannot miss on those picks. Here at 28, I have a feeling we both are going the same position. So let's see if we get the same guy. I have the Buffalo Bills after the Stephon Diggs trade going receiver, and I have them taking Xavier Worthy out of Texas. This guy can absolutely fly. He's super fast. And I think that he's going to be a great combination with Josh Allen in Buffalo. So Xavier Worthy out of Texas to Buffalo Bills.
So I also have the Buffalo Bills taking a receiver, but I have them taking Adonai Mitchell. Gotcha. Like you said, big, fast.
Different Texas receiver.
Yes, this is a different Texas receiver. This guy, I think he's not going to go that high compared to what you had, but that's your opinion. Good on you. I have Adonai Mitchell going. This is exactly a need that they have. A guy that can maybe be a number 1 for them. So I like it. Yeah. I like that matchup together.
Yeah, for sure. That would be exciting to see. Number 29, I have receiver going as well. I think that the Lions want another guy to pair with Amon-Ra, who they gave the absolute bag to today. $30 million a year. Crazy. Troy Franklin out of Oregon, receiver, going to the Detroit Lions here at 29. Another weapon for Jared Goff for them to make that final push to make it through the NFC. Yeah, Troy Franklin.
So I had the Lions bolstering up that offensive line that's already really good. I have them taking Graham Barton, and I know you're probably like, they don't really need a tackle. You're right, because he's going to play guard.
Oh,
everybody has him playing either guard or center. Guard. Either I've seen a lot of people have him playing guard or center, which I think could be great. Which I think he's going to play guard because they don't need a center either. So this is just adding to the riches that is their offense and keeping Jared Goff safe, making holes for David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Can't hurt.
Yeah, for sure. All right, here at 30, I have Mr. Great name, Chop Robinson, going to the Baltimore Ravens. Chop Robinson just sounds like a name of a guy who should be on the Baltimore Ravens. Like he just sounds like a guy who's a Baltimore Raven. Edge rusher out of Penn State, the second of the 2 Penn State edge rushers that I think will go in the first round. Chop Robinson to the Baltimore Ravens. They have Joe Burrow in the division. They have Deshaun Watson. They now have Russell Wilson. They have to get after the quarterback. Chop Robinson here to the Baltimore Ravens at 30.
So I have them getting receiver here. I have them taking Xavier Legette. I'm a big fan of what Shad Moore, our buddy Shad, calls him X-Man. This guy is a absolute just physical freak. This guy is a big, tall, go get the football kind of guy, and I think that he could use that with Zay Flowers, who's going to be more of the underneath speed guy, someone that can be on the outside opposite of Bateman. So I like this pick a lot. I like Xavier Legette. I'm a big fan of his. I was a big fan of his at South Carolina last year and this year. Guy's a stud, in my opinion. I could see him falling to the second round and being like the first pick in the second round, but I have him going to Baltimore here.
Gotcha. I like it. So pick number 31, the San Francisco 49ers do not have a lot of holes. They're a pretty great roster, but one of the holes that they do have is center. So I have them going Jackson Powers Johnson, the center out of Oregon here at 31, just building up that offensive line to protect Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers to finally get over the hump and win that Super Bowl. I think this is a center that is comparable to like when Creed Humphrey came out a few years ago, a center that can immediately be impactful. So Jackson Powers Johnson going to the San Francisco 49ers at 31.
So I have them taking Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think they need some secondary help. Kool-Aid's an athlete. I like him a lot. He's not as good as other corners, so I think they need to teach him up a little bit, but I like this fit here. I think he also can help them on special teams, but don't make it the corner pick just based on special teams. And I'm looking at you, J. Rob, for Adoree Jackson.
There you go. All right, now to the last pick in the first round, the annual last pick in the first round, the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, Super Bowl winners. There's one last blue chip first round prospect at tackle, and it's Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. And that's who I think that they go with here at 32, protecting Patrick Mahomes, a guy who can be your tackle for the next 10 years. He's a great, big, really big guy here out of Arizona. I think they go Jordan Morgan.
So I have them going receiver, and I have them taking Xavier Worthy. They're going to try and replace Tyreek Hill with some more speed. He's going to try and play that speed position, which
I
some
could see
people
him
thought
going receiver as well.
Some people thought it was going to be Sky Moore. Some people thought that maybe Marquise Hollywood Brown's going to be that. Maybe he is. I don't know, but we all know that Xavier Worthy can fly, and Patrick Mahomes just got to throw it up there, and he's down there somewhere, and somehow he just finds a way. So
true.
That's what I'm going with. I think that's just like an embarrassment of riches for a team that's already this good. So yeah, that's what I have.
The rich get richer. All right. Well done, DJ. That is our feelings over facts. First round mock draft. We will see who gets the most right, whose is more accurate. Ours are both pretty similar. We have a few that are in the same area, especially in the top 10. So we will see how that goes. All right, we've already been at it a while, but we cannot miss out on the most profitable segment in all of sports. I know our fans would be pissed if we did not give them some free money. So let's go ahead and hit our bets of the week before we do our feeling of the week and head out of here. DJ, let me hear your bets of the week.
My bets of the week are I want all hockey. I mean, it's all tonight too. So we're going to find out real quick what's happening. I have the Stars money line. Stars money line over in Vegas. I think they're going to have they're going to come out and absolutely smack, the Golden Knights around a little bit. The defending champs. This is going to be a tough series. But I like the Stars in this game tonight, at least just this one specific game. And then this is the only game 3 tonight, which I kind of hate how the NHL does that sometimes where they have one games ahead of another series, but here we are. I have Toronto over the Bruins. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that first game in Toronto in front of everybody can't go wrong.
It's going to be hype.
Yes. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. And Toronto loves their Maple Leafs. So that's going to be a good one because I don't think Boston's going anywhere. The series is going to be tight. And then my last one, this one I feel like is kind of more of a layup based on how they played last game. I do think that the Kings come out and play a little bit better, but I think it's hard to stop Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. I have the Oilers money line as well. So I'm going all money lines today. Really easy.
I like it. I'm 2 out of 3 in minor money lines as well. So my bets of the week, one of mine is tonight, OKC Thunder, -7.5 against the New Orleans Pelicans. The Thunder are just the better team. The Pelicans are, I don't even know if they want to be here in the playoffs without Zion. I really don't think that they stand a chance. They kept it close in the first game, but I think the second game is where we're really going to see the Thunder open it up. I think that this could be a 20-point victory by the Thunder. So Thunder -7.5, I like a lot at home tonight. The next game I have is Friday, or it's either tomorrow or Friday. Lakers money line it's about even money against the Denver Nuggets. So here's the thing. The Denver Nuggets have beat the Lakers since LeBron and Jokic have been on the Lakers and the Nuggets 10 straight times. But you know what they say? It's hard to beat a team 11 times in a row. So I'm going the Los Angeles Lakers money line in game 3. They have to win game 3 or the series is literally over. We're going to see a big game here out of Anthony Davis and LeBron. Lakers money line game 3. My last bet of my bets of the week, I'm going with my heart on this one. I'm going Predators money line in game 3. Nashville is going to be absolutely hopping for this game. It is going to be an absolutely electric environment in that arena. And I watched the first 2 games, and Nashville is the better team. I don't know a lot about hockey, but watching those games, Nashville is better than Vancouver. And I think that at home and their home ice and a hype environment, they're going to win. It's about even money, honestly, for the Preds to win this game. So I'm going Predators are my last bet of the week. So that is my 3 bets, DJ.
I like it.
Nice. All right, let's do our feeling of the week. I'll go ahead and go first with mine. So 2 weeks ago, my feeling of the week was Liverpool are going to win the Prem because it's Klopp's last season. And here's the thing. I jinxed them really hard. I think it was a curse that I put upon them because ever since I said that, they have just gone so downhill. It's been really, really bad. So here's what I'm going to try. I know DJ is an Arsenal fan, so I'm going to try to repeat my same curse, and I'm going to go with my feeling of the week is that Manchester City are going to win the league. In a attempt to repeat my Liverpool jinx with a City jinx, and that causes Arsenal to win the league. So that is my feeling of the week. You're welcome, DJ. Then.
Thanks. Hopefully, and if not, you just look really. You just got the right answer, I guess. So there you go.
Yeah.
Feeling of the week. I think that as a sports fan, or if you look at sports fans, especially NFL fans, how crazy is it that we like the draft as much as we do? It's literally just people getting their name called out, and they walk across the stage, and then their dreams are getting fulfilled. It's the biggest human interest story. It's the hope that you have a team that you're picking up a player that's going to help your team win a Super Bowl. I will say that the draft is one of my favorite events, and I think is one. In my feeling of the week, is the best. It's one of the best events in sports, and I know it's literally just people getting their name called, and you sit there. And I know some people are like, "That's kind of dumb." I don't care. I love it. It's great. It's Christmas to me in spring. Let's just get it. I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. I think it is the hope that it provides each team selecting that guy in the first round that they think is going to come in and just be a huge difference maker and make the difference for their team. It's just a very hopeful time for all these franchises. And I agree with you. The draft is definitely one of the best sporting events of the year for sure. All right, that is what we have for you today. Thank you all for joining us once again for another week of the Feelings Over Facts podcast for our 2024 NFL mock draft. We will see how it turns out tomorrow night. I'm excited. Let's get out of here, DJ. All right.
Let's do it.
Thank you for joining us. My name is Zach Simmons. His name is Daniel Jones, a.k.a. DJ. Thank you for joining us on the Feelings Over Facts podcast. Good morning and good night.
Tell somebody you love them. Peace.